So today's topic is going to be about how you can break into clinical research with confidence. So I'm going to give you some top tips and my advice from my personal experience that I feel would help you break into the clinical research field too. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, I'm Banker, also known as That Clinical Research Girl, and I'm here to help others like you break into the clinical research field. So if you're a transitioning professional, you're a final year student, or you're a new graduate, this is the place for you, and keep watching. Firstly, you need to have an understanding of what clinical research is. Clinical research is the testing of new medicines, drugs, medical devices, or treatment regimens and trying them in different populations to see if they're safe, effective. It helps to improve patient outcomes and bring better treatments to the market. Next, you want to think about the different roles at entry level that would suit you, such as the clinical research coordinator role, which is a patient-facing role and you're in charge of collecting patient data. There's also entry-level roles such as the clinical trial assistant, where you're performing a lot of administrative tasks and regulatory tasks as well. And also an entry-level clinical research associate, where you're performing monitoring-related tasks. You can also have other roles such as data manager and project manager administrator. Next, you want to think about how you're going to present yourself as the ideal candidate, especially as someone who hasn't got any experience in the clinical research field. So this is where your transferable skills come into play. So you want to think about those skills you've had in your previous degrees or your previous roles and how you can bring them into the clinical research space. So you want to think about skills such as your attention to detail, your written and your oral communication, your teamwork, your understanding of regulatory requirements and good clinical practice, and your ability to analyze data and perform data management. You highlight these on your CV, you expand on them in the cover letter, and you give examples also of how you have utilized these skills in previous settings, and you also go on to do this in the interview to impress the hiring manager or the interview panel. Is another tip that I give out commonly to many people that come to me asking for advice on how to break in after doing so many applications and not hearing back, having interviews and not hearing back, and is to target academia. So you're looking at roles within universities, research institutions or hospitals, because they're more willing to take people in at entry level and train you up to a good standard to be able to perform the role. Whereas in industry, they particularly want people to come in with at least a year's experience in the field or in that particular role before they'd even consider you as a potential candidate for the role. That's exactly what worked for me. I was applying for many of these industry or CRO companies, biotech, pharma, and not hearing anything back, or just not even getting an interview at all really, until I then focused on where my skill set lied and where my background lied and my expertise lied. And after speaking with people, networking, getting a mentor, I was then able to think the best place to apply was within academia. So that included applying for a project administrator role within a hospital, and then I also had another data manager role within a hospital as well, and then I had the CRA role within a research institution, which is where I am at now, and thankfully I was able to get in. This is a hidden gem that I love to give out to people that probably don't know. So guys, remember, your background doesn't matter. It's how you position your experience that really matters and really gets you called in for the interview after the hiring manager reads your CV and your cover letter. So for my fourth tip, it's all about thinking about coming in at entry level. You have no prior experience. How am I going to gain some clinical research experience to boost my CV and to make myself an ideal candidate? You want to think about volunteering or shadowing opportunities or even internships. You can simply type clinical research internships in Google or on LinkedIn, and it should come up with some that are in your region according to where you set it to. For volunteering opportunities and shadowing, it's also good to reach out to clinical research sites or hospitals or universities and find out if they can set you up for a volunteering scheme with them for a few weeks or a few months and give you that experience you need to help you get to where you want to get to and make your way into clinical research that way, and just really build up your CV with that kind of experience. So for my fifth and final tip is thinking about clinical research interview questions for the role you're applying for. So think about the common questions such as, why are you applying for a role in clinical research? What are your interests for clinical research? Why do you want to work within our team? Why do you want to work within our organization? Also thinking about those behavioral scenario questions and using the STAR technique, so situation, task, action and result, that method to answer those kind of questions, such as questions that go along the lines of, tell me how you handled a difficult situation when there was a protocol deviation on your trial. Tell me how you handled a situation with site compliance. Tell me how you would analyze data and report any findings or escalate any findings on the trial. And finally, you also want to remember that you want to go into an environment or role where you know you're going to benefit out of it and you know it's the best place for you. So you want to think about the interview questions you're going to ask at the end. So these can be questions such as, are there any career growth opportunities? Are there any training opportunities for me in this role? What is the biggest challenge you're experiencing with new hires at the moment? Or what's the biggest challenge that you're experiencing within your team in this current state? Remember that confidence comes with preparation, so make sure you research everything about the team and you prepare for the interview ahead of time. So guys, that's how you can break into clinical research with confidence. If you like this video, like, subscribe and follow me for more. And if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. See you at the next video. Bye.